I have in my knitting machine collection this beautiful SK740 in primo condition. One teensy-weensy problem. It came with the KR7 knit contour built in, which is lovely and works, but not a single pattern for it. For me personally, this is not a terrible problem because I have a good library of narrower patterns for the KR6 and they feed fine. Here's one that I drew for myself. You can see that it's feeding correctly and showing me where I should increase and decrease just as it ought to. But when I went looking for KR7 patterns, I found none available at any price. So I thought it would be a good idea to explore whether we could make our own specifically for this machine. The short answer is yes. I made this one, and I'll show you exactly how I made it in a minute because it's a 5-minute job. But this is made with the 11-inch width of ordinary printer paper. Regular size printer paper is 8.5 inches wide by 11 inches long, so I've turned it on its side. Legal paper is usually 8.5 inches by 14 inches long, so that would be an option too. As you can see from the turquoise ruler, there are 2 inches not being filled by the 11-inch width, so the ideal width to trim our paper is probably in the 13 to 13.25 area. I will research that and update you later on that. For today, we'll work with what all of us probably have on hand, 8.5 by 11-inch paper, and I'm going to draw a baby pattern half size so it will easily fit. We're going to want to have the full width pattern for the KR7 if we want a full scale pattern, because this machine will work with either half or full scale patterns. The adjustment that allows you to choose is right here behind the 3 brown dials. So tape 2 or more sheets together as neatly as possible. Make several lines 3/16 of an inch from the left-hand edge of the paper. Connect those lines with the vertical line, and that's what we will align with the pattern ruler. Measure up from the bottom and make a line 3.5 inches from the bottom across. That space is needed to feed into the roller. 1 inch up from that line can be the bottom line of the pattern, so measure up 1 inch and mark that line too. It's a good idea to make an arrow to remind you which direction to feed the pattern in, and with all of that marked, you're ready to draw half a pattern aligned with the left line. That will actually be the center mark of the pattern. I'm working on a new raglan design right now, so I drew the specs for the newborn sweater aligned as an example of how you do that. You may get your source from diagrams, from old knitting magazines. You can do it from scratch, or you can trace from patterns you already have. I will do a couple of video demos to help you with that.